Hey guys, welcome to our review of Loki episode 3. This one is called 1893, and it basically features Jonathan Majors as Victor Timely. And has some major reveals, and honestly, some theorists have said that this episode is huge.
Is it?
Yeah, as far as how, to setting up, what's going to happen here for Kang the Conqueror. And, basically we go back in time. And at one point we're on the sacred timeline. On another point we're on a branching timeline. That's going to be important because you think that it says sacred timeline for the Chicago thing and everything, but if you look, it's two different timelines. So that's going to be significant later on. But it looks as if a causality loop is being set up here. Maybe this is a backup plan for Kang the Conqueror in case he's killed, in order to keep the TVA going. We get the Miss Minutes episode, essentially. They come out and go look for, but they combine it with Renslayer. I'm glad, because what I was thinking here is that we've been doing this little time-hopping thing, and one episode Renslayer, one episode Miss Minutes, one episode this. Well, they combine, at the very least, Renslayer and Miss Minutes. I don't particularly care about these characters. I guess people really liked Miss Minutes, so she's elevated to more important status. Granted, she was created by, He Who Remains, so she is tied into all this. And ultimately, we meet Victor Timely, who is the Sacred Timeline's version of Kang, and we have something with a TVA handbook, which will perhaps facilitate him into becoming what he is meant to become. Now, what is the interest? Well, Miss Minutes goes a little crazy. We'll talk about that. Renslayer kind of takes a hard turn, and I didn't really feel that it didn't execute well. But I think the more interesting aspect that episode 3 introduces is Victor Timely, does he have to become the villain, right? Is he what Loki and Mobius and everybody thinks that he is? Or is he his own guy, his own person, and has a heart? He says, hey, my heart's in my...
That's not me.
That's not me. Can he make his own choices? And I think dramatically and narratively, that is where the interesting thing is. But I think ultimately Marvel will turn him into, what he needs to be. Otherwise, what's the point? Unless you're giving another anti-hero or another foil for all the other ones. But if you know a little bit about Victor Timely in the comic books, then it does seem like his path is preset. But we'll see if they want to take some, side things. So that's essentially the episode. What did you guys think about? Oh, we also get a little Sylvie. We get a little repeat of her trying to kill this guy because she is also on to him. And so we get a repeat of the end of season 1 where Loki is trying to prevent that from happening. What did you guys think of this episode?
I thought it was a good episode, but I didn't love it. The Miss Minutes thing for me, I just don't like her character too much. I think it's just like a little novelty thing for me. And the whole lovers quarrel thing, I didn't like it. I didn't buy it.
Lovers quarrel? What you mean? Renslayer
and Miss Minutes and Timely.
The whole I don't have partners. It just felt forced.
It's like, well, I like you now.
That's his character trait. Well, we don't really know that's his character trait. We're just told it's his character trait.
And obviously we'll get more in the next episode. He's like, well, I got to tell you a secret, but you're going to be mad. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to wait for that. But based off of this episode, I didn't buy that chemistry or anything like that. It was great seeing Jonathan Majors again. It was a good watch, but again, I didn't like it as opposed to the other ones. It had some downsides.
Yeah,
I think this is a continued downward direction from the previous two.
Yeah.
I love the setting. I love the setting. The Chicago World's Fair is really interesting. They even mentioned H.H. Holmes. And I was like, that's a book that I own 3 copies of. I forced OJ to read the book. It was like, you read this book. There's so many cool things about it.
It's like, holy shit.
So the setting is great. I just don't think they did very much. Like, I don't like Miss Minutes. I don't like Renslayer, and the timely thing that didn't work. The Sylvie versus Loki, we're doing the same thing over and over again.
Yep, that's what I think. Yep.
And so it's like I don't. What was the point of this episode?
I actually did some digging. They wanted to put this into season 1. They wanted to put Victor Timely. They wanted to kind of cram some of this in here, but they said, this is too much. Let's move it.
Okay.
So it might be kind of leftovers from season 1
kind of
to
feel
have
that.
fun in season 2. I guess we're having fun. I like the setting. I like the thing, but we are kind of repeating story beats that we've kind of already seen. And like I said, the real drama comes, is Victor Timely going to join these motherfuckers? Is he going to eventually betray them and become Kang the Conqueror again? Or he who remains, the guy that we see at the end in the purple, he doesn't necessarily have to be Kang the Conqueror, though that could be another thing. And then all these other, and then a small little things that bothered me, like, did I catch this right? You guys remember this? So the last episode, we blew up a bunch of time branches. We're like, holy shit, this is the most momentous episode, and you got to watch this episode if you want to kind of get the juices. And then we go into this episode, and it said the timelines are growing back.
Yes.
What?
Yes. That's what I thought too.
So is it? Did you just plant that line there so that you could like erase it, and in case you fucked up, and then hey, don't worry, you don't have to watch this episode because they blew up, but then they grew back, and it's the same people in the same timeline, the exact same way. I don't understand this.
Yeah, because I heard that line.
It was literally a single line. Did you hear this line?
But
what do you think of that?
I don't like this.
Pissed me off.
This episode, like I said, I don't like this episode. I don't think it doesn't fit.
I thought it was all right, but because we're like repeating the same.
This is
story
episode 3 of 6 again, and we are again doing the Sylvie's being. And I get that this is how you set up. This is how bad writers set up arcs for characters. Where she's like, I'm not going to listen to you, even though I'm doing the exact same thing to him that he did to me, and they're trying to set that up, but they're doing it poorly.
Okay. And I get you, and I agree with you, but I think that at this point, at least at the end of the episode, she does come to the conclusion, okay, I've been a fucking bitch and a dick, and maybe I'll look at this in a different way. She lets him go. And that actually, I think, is going to help us cause this causality loop that, factors that in. Now, did he understand that she would do that? The original He Who Remains that got stabbed at the end of season 1, did he understand that? So then he set this up. Because I believe that we have already seen the end of this series. Remember when I was like, what the fuck with that with the elevator? I don't understand. Who phased out Loki? Who pruned Loki? So we saw that scene, and I think that scene's gonna play out in episode 6, right? And it's Sylvie, and she's so I think it has something to do with free will, because these are themes that we've been talking about. Is there free will, or is everything preordained? I mean, we literally have a guy called Ouroboros, which is, if you look up the term, it's like a circular thing, just predestined, just going around in circles. So. And we're supposed to believe that motherfucking Kang and this villain or whatever is the next greatest threat, and we saw Quantum anyway. We was like
ants,
right?
Ants beat his ass.
Ants beat his ass. So maybe they're gonna try to set up. Oh, his real threat is this: is that we killed him, we did all this, but he had a plan, and none of it mattered, and he had a backup plan or something. I don't know how it goes, but. Yeah, so, but I agree with you ultimately, and this is kind of my prediction that when I started at a 10 out of 10, I think, we're probably going to slowly go down from here. And I agree. So, final verdicts, and then we'll jump into the spoiler. We don't need to make this long. We know what happened.
For me, it's going to be an average, so I'm going to go with a 5. It was, like, we didn't really...
I thought you liked it more than that. Damn, 5 is pretty rough.
Not really a lot happened. We do get some stuff at the end, but it's like that in between. It was kind of boring. I didn't like it. Yes, I did like seeing Jonathan Majors and some of the cool stuff, like the Chicago Fairs and all that. But other than that, I don't care about Miss Minutes or Renslayer.
Okay.
But yeah, 5 for me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, actually, so I thought you liked it more too. But yeah, I'm also at a 5. There's some really cool things here. I do like the setting quite a bit, but ultimately there was only a couple scenes in this whole episode that mattered, right? We had a Sylvie versus Loki. You know, do I kill this guy? Do I not kill this guy? I felt like we've done this before. There was zero impact. There was no development from the last time. Loki didn't once mention it's like, hey, aren't you doing the exact same thing? Which is what you need to be doing halfway into the season, setting up this arc. Because I feel like, again, in the Disney Plus series, we're going to go through an entire season, and they're going to be like, no, all the things that you want to happen are going to be in the next season, or we're setting it up for the next thing. It's like, I
feel like season 1 gave us a satisfying payoff and a nice little setup for the future. And we're kind of repeating a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Betrayal.
So we're
Miss Minutes and all that.
I feel like we're spinning our wheels, and then we got the really awkward Miss Minutes thing.
I didn't like
that's
that.
what kind of.
I also
was
followed up
6.
by an awkward Renslayer thing.
That's what I was thinking with
Yeah.
the 6. I was like, watching that. I was like, nah.
Yeah,
I don't want to watch this again.
Well, y'all are convincing me because I was at it. Well, you haven't given your rating.
Yeah, so I agree with him. I think that there's some really cool stuff here. I love the Chicago World's Fair, and so there were some interesting things here. But I honestly don't think, as far as Loki season 2, it's very good. So I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay, I was at a 7 before we talked
I was
about
at
it. Now
6,
y'all are
but
bringing
I was
me
like,
down.
I
so
went down a
I'm
bit.
at a 6. I do like it more than y'all because I do like the performances in here, and I agree completely. We're repeating, but what is potentially saving it? Now remember, we can go back and change our ratings as we watch the series because it's harder to
get
rate
more
individual episodes.
pieces
But
of the
I'm
puzzle.
thinking that I will allow it because we're now moving forward. So we repeated it, but Sylvie says, okay, I'm finally making this decision. Let's try something else. I'm going to let him go as opposed to killing him. And then the same thing with Miss Minutes and Renslayer. At least they're setting up the next phase. Renslayer, I looked up in the comics who she is. She's like on a love tie with Kang, and I guess they're trying to pay homage to that and do this thing where he can never truly be with her, but then she could, you could dive into that yourself, look up on YouTube and stuff, but it's like, I don't really care. Right?
Yeah.
If I don't care about Renslayer, then I don't care. I would only care as a means to stopping Kang from destroying, the Marvel Universe or being a foil to Kang or something. Or maybe in this instance, she's setting up the path of Kang becoming evil or something like that. Taking it from this Victor Timely, who seems to be a meek guy, cooperative, willing to be good guy, and turning him into something else. I don't know. Love does crazy things, and I'm not going to put it past these writers to try to do this love triangle thing, which will then ruin Victor Timely and stuff. And that
the power of friendship is going to overcome Kang the Conqueror.
And I know how much Alex loves the stories, the power of that.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I don't know that's what's going to happen, but, I'm getting hints of that right now, and I'm not really caring. I was more interested in Ouroboros and Mobius and Loki and leaning on these guys rather than leaning on Miss Minutes and Renslayer and
Which we didn't really get too much of that.
yeah. So it's a little weaker. So I'm gonna go 6 out of 10, and that's how we're feeling so far. We're in the middle of the season. I can go either way. At this point, if I had to make a snap judgment, I think season 1 was better. I was more interested. I was more invested. We were seeing new shit that we'd never seen before. This kind of is repeating so far. Now, we got 3 episodes left here. Let's see if I can get any. No, I don't even have episode titles. This one, in case you were wondering, is the last one that's going to be directed by somebody else. Now we go into the next 3 who are all taken control of in the writing department by Eric Marlin, right down the line, and then these last 3 directed by Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. So it's like a team. So I'm wondering if these 3 are a chunk, a little final arc here, because they're all creatively under the same team. So that could spell good. That could be good, because if we're good, then we'll get all 3 good. If they're bad, then yeah. So
hopefully.
that's where we're
It's
at.
not going to be one of those assignments. It's like, all right, you write this, and we'll meet up somehow. This doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense.
We have some people to blame here if it doesn't go well. But so far, we're enjoying it. We're just not enjoying it as much as season 1. And honestly, so far as a setup, I think it's weak for Thanos-style villain setup. But we got 3 episodes left. So that's our opinion. Let's go into the episode breakdown. Hey, welcome to episode breakdown. So 1868, Miss Minutes has been hiding there because she was given a directive by He Who Remains to give himself the book, which will set him up in the future and grip the cycle. So that's who Renslayer is. Honestly, it makes it feel like a cop-out. I feel like there's 2 cop-outs right there. The first cop-out is, the branches are growing back. I'm like, what? I had to rewind it because I had to listen to him say it again. I was like, they could do that? That takes away from the whole thing where it's like, wow, millions of people died, billions of people died.
Well, also the most important people at the TVA, they're forced. They got deleted, right? There was like this internal civil war with like the good guy, the TVA bad guy, and so they didn't know that it was just going to regrow itself.
Regrow back. Maybe they did, but they just never vocalized it. They didn't tell us because they wanted us to have the impact of
mindless. Like, you got a job to do. You got.
I don't know. Or are these new branches? Right?
They didn't say new branches. They said growing back.
Yeah,
but you can grow branches back after having branches pruned, and those branches don't necessarily need to be the same exact branches. So we got this we got the loop, and. And then we do the fair, and the fair's cool. We've seen a fair before, I think, in Iron Man, if y'all remember. This World's Fair, and I liked it. It was a snake oil salesman. Victor Timely is all like, creating this cool, but it actually does work a little bit. So I'm not really sure, how he's oil sale. He just doesn't have. He's got prototypes. He doesn't have, the main thing, and they do a Rockefeller thing, and the barons who are trying to buy his stuff, and he makes like mechanical pants or something that's supposed to make you taller. And so he shrinks down.
He also made a death stick. I don't know why he didn't advertise
that. So that was. So then the death stick comes after he gets the book, and he's able to, I guess, use some of the book to create a prototype death stick. And I was like, "How did you do that? I don't believe it, but whatever." Okay.
It's like you don't have the technology.
But no, Joe, he is He Who Remains, so he has the potential in his brain, and he gets a little bit of help. Then it just doesn't feel right, but whatever. Okay, so we go this big thing. They plant the book. They wait 25 years, and so then that's when Loki and Mobius show up searching for Renslayer because they're looking for Miss Minutes, who will be next to Renslayer. And I feel that's the other cop out where Renslayer is, I'm gonna go find free will in the last season, and then she's like literally doing a plan. That's probably gonna drive her crazy. Maybe that's what they're setting up. That it's just yet another thing that she was meant to do or forced to do.
And I guess she was big secret.
Yeah, so I guess they lined that up. She was gonna go search for He Who Remains, so I guess she did technically find He Who Remains. But anyway, so we do this thing where they set it up. They try to get at him, and he is unsure of who to believe: Loki and Mobius, or this attractive girl that he's just likes and flirts with, and then a sentient cartoon clock, which scares everybody, and like this Pac-Man looking ghost style, and I guess nobody ever wrote about that in the Chicago, like the great ghost clock scare. They were doing a small. Oh, there was like a haunting going on, but that would be probably written about, or I guess nobody took pictures back then. There's no cell phone, so you couldn't do one of these.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blurry one. You have to stand still.
This minute stand still for 5 minutes. Anyways, so then they run from them, and they're kind of hiding from them. And here is where we have. They get on a boat first, and they're kind of building him up. They're like, "You will make this thing," and he's like, "Oh, I always knew that my ideas worked," and kind of stuff like that. But then she makes the mistake. I mean, they start to like each other. It was just rushed and stupid, and it's like, does everybody, if you have to fall in love with everybody, I don't know. So stupid.
It felt rushed again, and the chemistry wasn't there. Like,
and I get it in the comics, Renslayer character and Kang character, but here, I don't really feel it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you took a few more episodes, you took 2 more episodes, and you built them making funny little things, and you do the cake and the icing on the nose. I don't know, just some bullshit, but I didn't feel it. Yeah. So then She's like, we can be a partnership. Well, that's the
As soon
same
as
thing
he
the
said the
Rockefeller
word,
guy
yeah.
said.
He's like,
Get
it's
the fuck
over.
out of here. And Miss Minutes goads him on because she has her own agenda. So they put her in a boat, send her off, and she's like, fuck this. And she's like, no, I'm going to take things in my hands. And I'm like, hey, that's a good woman right there. She's going to follow him. And so then it's just him and Miss Minutes, and she's like, and then this scene.
I hated this.
I don't know. It's so stupid. I don't like it. I saw somebody out there. It's like, this is my favorite scene. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know what kind of stories you like. I don't know, because I was watching other reviews of this.
Oh, I thought you meant like those sex robots.
Huh?
Is that what they liked?
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't.
It's like,
they
should
didn't
give me a
mention sex
body. I'm
robots.
an
You
AI.
mentioned sex
That's what she
robots.
said. She's an AI. She's like, you should
Give me a
give me a
body.
body, and then we could be
use
together.
That body, because I love
Right.
you.
She
That's
wants to have
basically what it
sex with-
is.
She wants to have sex with them.
That's what it is.
So she gets crazy. It's like a crazy girlfriend. It's like, this don't feel right in Marvel. I'm not really sure. Like they thought they was getting creative. Oh, the guy that I said watch this, he's like, I like it when Marvel takes risk and do something weird. So I guess it is a risk and it is weird,
It
but
is?
I didn't really
Okay.
like it. So he gets scared of her, runs off, and manages to turn her off real quick before she gets too creepy. I don't know what she was gonna do with him. Put some cartoon kisses on him and something.
Oh God.
Oh no, please don't.
I don't know what she's capable of, but again, don't piss off a woman.
Don't piss off. Well, that's
She's a
the
clock.
moral of the story
Yes.
by the end, and that's why I rolled my eyes at the end of the episode. It's like, God damn it. Because
Ain't no fury
after
like
all
a
this
woman's
bullshit,
scorn.
let me skip ahead real quick to the end, is Sylvie says, all right, I'm not going to kill you. You know, she shows up to kill him. They defend. Well, fuck it. We'll get there. Anyways, so she did that, and then finally the crew meets up. Everybody's in one spot, and then Renslayer comes first with the crazy stick. And you built this prototype. It's like
So careful.
shocking everywhere. It's like a piece of running poorly, but it looks like it will work. And so he's scared, and she goes crazy sounding, you know, because he put her in a boat. She's pretty pissed. Okay, I probably would be pretty pissed if I mean,
like,
talk
fuck
about
you.
realism. If I have to fucking row for miles, well, at the end of the day, come on, you motherfucker.
How did she
So,
even
okay,
know?
maybe her attitude
Like,
there, where she went kind of a turn to a monster almost. Wow, makes a little bit of sense. Anyways, Sylvie shows up, blows them all down. Okay, but decides eventually not to kill him. Go ahead and go with Loki and Mobius, and then go through the TVA portal. He goes through the portal, so we got him.
He's gonna fix or attempt to fix.
Yeah, because we could use his. So they were saying, it's Miss Minutes' administrative codes. That's what they were after. But really, if you can get the actual DNA of He Who Remains, he can also do it. So that's what they're setting up there. So
I mean, we skipped a scene in the
Yeah, can you do that?
Ferris wheel where she shows up almost out of nowhere and it like pulls out a machete.
how did she do this?
She just warped in and was
Yeah,
like,
that's
I'm
why-
gonna kill you.
She was monitoring them the whole time, I suppose.
Yeah, because B-15 was like, hey, there's a crazy anomaly or something 10 feet away, and then she just pops up.
And then she shows up. And then, I mean, we spent the first half of the episode with OB constantly like, we're going to die. We're going to die. And so we know that there are stakes, and no one once mentioned, it's just like, hey, I just need Loki to be like, everything is going to blow up. And I get that she's mad and she needs to have the I'm going to be unreasonable type situation, but it's like the whole scene just didn't work for me. It's, I mean,
How did she know about this?
we don't know any of this stuff.
Maybe later on she's
Now,
gonna
the
reveal-
audience and the script writers know about it because in a timeline of millions of timelines, they're just over here talking to potentially a variant of He Who Remains.
Yeah, because it took
And
a long
somehow
time just
Sylvie,
to
who
find
has
Sylvie.
decided, I've killed He Who Remains, I'm going to live my life in McDonald's now. Stupid. Okay. You're telling me she knew the whole time. Maybe I wasn't paying attention and they dropped a hint that they were going to go visit. No, because they didn't even know they were going to go visit. The only one that knew was going to go visit was Renslayer. And even Renslayer didn't know she was going to go visit. She was looking for Miss Minutes, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was stupid. And unexplained. And it's just a way to bring the characters. It's a writing device to bring the characters who are important back into the story.
Yeah, and the scene works mainly because you're with the main characters are withholding information of how serious everything is, and I fucking hate that. I mean, we've even seen Lex Luthor, ally himself with Superman when the time comes. It's just like, hey, all the timelines are gonna explode. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe we need to scan his brain, and then I'll kill him. But like, there was no discussion because there can't be, otherwise the episode doesn't work.
I mean, Loki tries, but
kind of that mullet she's got is nothing. No information gets through it. So
yeah. Back to the scene. She kicks her into the portal. She's like, "All right, you guys go. I'll take care of Renslayer because she's acting crazy." And the bitch was crazy with the time, Miss Minutes, and now this bitch is acting crazy. So then but the thing is, she was acting crazy. Man, they really do a disservice to women in Marvel, right? Bitches is crazy. That's the takeaway, right? Sylvie's crazy. Renslayer's crazy. Miss Minutes is crazy. This shit ain't progressive. What the fuck are they doing? I'm just fucking with y'all. Anyway, so she knocks her ass into the end of time instead of killing her because it's like, you go be with this guy. You want to be at the end of time? Go be with him. He's like, there's the fucking decrepit skeleton almost. And I was like, okay, maybe this is what makes Renslayer important. They figure out something and they revive his body and she's actually in control. There's one comic storyline where she poses as He Who Remains Renslayer for a little while using holograms or whatever. But I don't know what's happening here. But I hated it. I hated it so much I had to write down the line. One of the dumbest scenes ever happens. It says, "I had him under control until you sabotaged me and made fools of us," Renslayer says to Miss Minutes. So, what?
He was putty because.
So
he was in love
is this
with her.
implying? Is this implying that these two secretly made a pact to betray or control He Who Remains?
Control him because they have to fix the loom, right? Like that, they know they have to fix the loom too.
Okay.
Because everyone in this episode has the same motivations.
Yes.
And
Except
then
Sylvie.
the time Miss Minutes fucked it up because her impulses made that thing. And so you made a fool. You sabotaged me and made a fool. Okay, Miss Minutes replies, "Well, it was foolish of him to make an enemy of someone who knows all his secrets." And then she goes on, "I know a secret about you, but it'll make you real angry."
Yeah. Scene.
And they're like, "I guess so. These two are allies now. We have
After
a
that,
third
I would be like,
faction.
"You just betrayed me.
have a
Fuck
third."
off.
Drop me
Tell
like
me the
that.
secret, then fuck off."
No, man, it's like you ditched me. You think I'm just gonna believe your stupid ass secret? You're gonna be making that up. But Renslayer's an idiot and thinks tells the truth at all times. Whatever.
So we'll see.
But it'll make you real angry. So it has something to do. I guarantee it has something to do with Renslayer and He Who Remains. How her fate and is tied to his and this and that in some way in a causal loop or whatever. This isn't the first time you met her. I don't know. So. Because do we know Renslayer's original variant life before she was?
She says that she's been running the TVA for eons,
right?
And so
we don't know hers yet. They're going to reveal hers. We revealed Mobius's. We revealed everybody's. We revealed the guy who is a movie star.
Of all the people's backstory that I want, Renslayer's.
Oh, Alex is going to enjoy episode 5.
Can't wait.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah, because it's.
All right. Well, that's pretty much about it. So I guess we'll see you guys then. I know it sounds like we're pretty negative on it, but know that we like it. At least I like it. I just wish it was a little more impactful.
I'm worried that the show's doing this.
Yeah, that's what I said at the beginning.
And so it's
I think
we're at the average. And as long as this is one of those things that it's a dip and then it comes back, totally fine. But I am absolutely worried because
we are dipping. We are dipping, and we can recognize we're dipping. That's why you come to us, okay? All right, thank y'all so much for watching. Let us know. Do you think we're dipping or are we all right? And we got 4, 5, 6 left, and we will see you guys then. Thank you.